Hello, everyone.
Hello again.
Hello.
Hello. And welcome to another episode of
This is the Circle Podcast.
My name is James.
It is your host, Philip.
my name is Daniel.
Like always, I'm here with my best friends.
All right, so today will be a pretty fun episode.
I don't know what I'm saying. Anyways, goodbye.
Goodbye, party people.
See ya.
High-profile politicians are in
too,
the
man.
fucking pedophilia ring.
I am too. All right, boys, we are recording.
Here we go again.
Welcome back to the Circle Podcast. My name is Philip. This is round 2 of the debates. VP
VP debates.
Yeah, going on tonight.
We got Cotton Hill. Who does Kamala Harris look like?
I don't even know what she looks like, to be honest.
I do know what she looks like, but I don't know.
I've probably
She's a
seen her
good
like
comparison.
once in my life.
She looks really bitchy.
Dude, it's just crazy how much Mike Pence looks like Cotton Hill, dude.
Cotton Hill versus bitch.
Okay, so what do we think is gonna happen in this debate?
I think this is going to go a lot more smoothly than the last one.
Honestly, yeah, I think it's gonna go pretty smooth.
A bit more respectful.
I think it's gonna be civil, but I feel like there's gonna be, it's gonna be
Like passionate?
like civil jabs. You know?
Oh,
like,
yeah, totally.
Because I don't know if you guys watched it when Kamala Harris was going for the nomination for the Democrats, she was fucking vicious.
Oh,
Like,
really?
She kicked the shit out of fucking Joe Biden.
Oh, shit.
It was kind of
okay.
embarrassing. She's
Like, she's quick.
She's no
She's
joke. Yeah.
Quick, sharp tongue.
Yeah.
Real quick to our listeners out there, for those who may have listened to our last episode, we know we missed a lot of those sound bites, kind of talked over them. So I don't think we're going to do any fact checking for this episode. We're just going to listen and hopefully be able to react to those clippable moments.
But to be honest with you guys, I don't really mind that we missed those clips because it's more of like a oh shit kind of moment. You know, like he said that.
Yeah.
I feel like I wanted to do this so that we can, address like the more important things and the
See, I think that's the thing. I felt like I was trying to do that for the last debate, and it just ended up being a joke anyways.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like I wish I kind of just had more fun with it.
Yeah. I'm very interested because, like I said, Kamala Harris is very
It's a lot more moderate.
She's more aggressive on the stage, Like she's
Oh,
not
yeah,
afraid
yeah.
to make comments. But like I said, she's very civil about it. But Mike Pence, he has that, I don't know, like that Western kind of nice flow to him. Like I feel like he's going to be very civil. And I feel like he's going to be a hard person to debate. I feel like he's a very good debater.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know. I feel like he's very mellow.
I've never like really seen him speak before, but I do know of some of his like stances, and I know he's a very like extreme evangelical conservative.
Yeah, didn't he?
Like he believes in like conversion therapy.
Yeah, that,
and like
praying the gay away.
yeah. So we'll be interested to hear what he has to say.
Yeah.
Tell me about your imaginary friend, Mike Pence.
Good evening.
Well, his name is Jesus Christ.
Welcome to the first and only Vice President.
Real quick, do you see that TikTok of that girl who's saying like, "Oh, you believe Abraham Lincoln was real, but not Jesus?" And like she was trying to argue with that why Jesus was real. It was just really dumb.
Of our democracy. In Kingsbury Hall
I gotta see
tonight,
that.
we have a small and socially
She said first and
distant
only?
audience,
And socially
we've taken
distant.
extra precautions
I thought there would be
during
more.
this pandemic.
Nice.
Among
Yeah,
other
'cause
things,
guess what?
everyone in the audience is
Fucking
required
president
to
had
wear a
COVID.
face mask.
Dude, did you hear too that they're saying that he purposely came late so that they wouldn't have time to test him before?
But they've agreed to
Really?
Yeah, people are saying that he was already feeling symptoms before, but he didn't want to like not miss the debate or
Died on
something.
stage.
I don't know if that's true. but-
Yeah.
California Senator Kamala
It looks like
Harris.
that mic's going to fucking fall over.
Oh shit. I don't know how to fix it.
If it's not broke, don't fix it.
All right.
Now wave at each other.
So we've provided you both with 2 samurai swords.
Oh, dude, I wish that's how it went down. Now, Kith. Real quick,
They're
make sure to
sitting?
follow us on Instagram at the
Senator
Circle
Harris and
Pod.
Vice President Pence,
Yeah,
thank
they're
you for
sitting.
being here.
Follow us on
We're
TikTok at the
meeting
Circle
as
Pod.
President Trump and the First Lady continue to undergo treatment in Washington after testing positive for COVID-19. We send our thoughts and prayers to them for their rapid and complete recovery and for the recovery of everyone afflicted by the coronavirus.
How does the TV sound? Good?
The two campaigns and the Commission on
that's good.
Presidential Debates have agreed to the ground rules for tonight. I'm here to enforce them on behalf of the millions
After
of
last week's shit
Americans
show.
who are- One note, no one in either campaign or at the Commission or anywhere else has been told in advance what topics I'll raise or what questions I'll ask.
Oh, wow.
This 90-minute
Yeah, right.
debate will be
Because last
divided
week they
into
knew the
9
topics
segments
beforehand,
about
right?
Mhm.
They,
Yeah.
Yeah, it was on like
Online.
yeah, it was
To
online.
each of you, sometimes the same question, sometimes a different question on the same topic.
705.
You will then have 2 minutes
Where is this
to
at?
answer without
Like the
interruption.
fucking Midwest?
I think it's
Salt
is
Lake
that
Oh,
Eastern
Salt Lake
time?
City. Sorry.
It will take 6
Utah.
minutes or
Oh,
so
okay.
to discuss the issue. At that point,
Oh, I didn't see that
although
either.
there will always be more to say, we'll move on. to
Where the
the
fuck's
next
in
topic.
Utah?
We
The fuck's
want
in Utah?
A debate that is lively, but Americans also deserve.
Is that where there's a lot of
discussion
Mormons?
That is civil.
Oh, wow.
These
What a
are
coincidence, huh?
tumultuous times, but we
Got a Mormon
can
up here.
have a respectful exchange
Look at him.
Wait,
about
what?
the big
He does look kind of
issues
Mormon.
of the nation. Let's begin with the ongoing pandemic that has cost our country so much.
Oh shit.
Senator Harris, the coronavirus is not under control. Over the past week, Johns Hopkins reports that 39 states have had more COVID cases over the past 7 days than in the week before. 9 states have set new records.
Rip.
Even if a vaccine is released soon, the next administration will face hard choices. What would a Biden administration do in January and February that a Trump administration wouldn't do? Would you impose new lockdowns for businesses and
Wear a
schools
mask?
and hotspots? A federal mandate to wear masks?
No Proud
You have
Boys.
2 minutes to respond.
Thank you, Susan. Well, the American people have witnessed what is the greatest failure of any presidential administration in the history of our country.
Oh, wow.
And here are the facts.
Damn, he's sitting right next to you, bro.
210,000 dead people in our country in just the last
Dead
several
people?
months. Over 7 million people who have contracted this disease. 1 in 5 businesses closed. We're looking at frontline workers who have been treated like sacrificial workers.
He looks like he's got the
We are
fucking
looking at
coronavirus.
30 million people
He's
who in the
SMHing.
last several months had to file for unemployment. And here's the thing. On January
It's a lot of people.
28th,
Yeah.
the vice president and the president were informed about the nature of this pandemic. They were informed that it's lethal in consequence, that it is airborne,
Why does he
that
look
it
like
will
he's
affect
holding
young
back a
people,
laugh?
Does he?
and that it would be contracted because it is airborne.
I don't know. Maybe he doesn't.
And they knew what was happening and they didn't tell you. Can you imagine if you knew on January 28th, as opposed to March 13th, what they knew, what you might have done to prepare? They knew and they
Stock up
covered
on
it
toilet paper sooner.
The president said it was a hoax. They minimized the seriousness of it. The president said, you're on one side of his ledger if you wear a mask, you're on the other side of his ledger if you don't. And in spite of all of that, today they still don't have a plan. They still don't have a plan. Well, Joe Biden does. And our plan is about what we need to do around a national strategy for contact tracing, for testing, for administration of the vaccine,
Contact
and
tracing.
making sure that it will be free for all.
That is needed.
That is the plan that Joe Biden has and that I have, knowing
Listen
that we
back
have
to
get
our,
a hold of what has been going
Yeah,
on.
Pandemic
And we need to
episode where we
save
reference a
our
Harvard
country.
paper
And Joe
on the
Biden is
topic.
the best leader to do that, and frankly, this administration has
We should just give
forfeited
that that to them.
to
Right.
re-election based on this.
Here,
Thank you, Senator Harris.
follow this.
Vice President Pence, more than 210,000 Americans.
That was a
have
good
died
episode.
of
I'm glad we did that
COVID-19
episode.
Since
Yeah.
February. The U.S.
I think
death toll
it's,
as
yeah.
a percentage of our population
I think it's more relevant
is
right
higher
now
than that of almost
than
every
it was a
other
little back
wealthy
then.
nation on Earth.
Mm.
For instance, our death rate is 2.5 times that of Canada next door. You head the administration's coronavirus task force. Why
Well-
is the U.S. death toll as a percentage of our population higher than that
As
of
Trump would
almost
say,
every
you can't do
other
that.
wealthy country? And you have 2 minutes to respond without interruption.
Susan, thank you. And I want to thank the Commission and the University of
What
Utah
the fuck
for
is this question?
hosting this event. And Senator Harris,
What do you mean?
privileged to be on the stage with you.
What? It,
And our nation
didn't catch
has
what she
gone
said.
through a
She asked why is their
time
death rate
this
higher
year.
than Canada's.
oh,
But I want the
Fucking
American
Mike
people
fell.
to know that from the very first day, President Donald Trump has put the health of America first. Before there were more
Really?
than 5 cases in the United States, all people who had returned from China. President Donald Trump did what no other American president had ever done. And that was he suspended all travel from China, the second largest economy in the world. Now, Senator,
That was needed.
Joe Biden opposed that decision. He said it was xenophobic and hysterical. But I can tell you, having led the White House Coronavirus Task Force, that that decision alone by President Trump bought us invaluable time to stand up the greatest national mobilization since World War II. And I believe it saved hundreds of thousands of American lives. Because with that time, we were able to reinvent testing. More than 115 million tests.
That
have
sound
been done
panel's
to
about to
date.
fall off.
We were able to see to the delivery
The one on the right?
of billions of supplies.
Yeah,
to
it's been like
doctors
that.
and nurses
Yeah,
and the
gotta
resources
retape
support
it.
They needed. And we began really before the month of February was out to develop a vaccine.
There it
And to
goes.
develop medicines and therapeutics that have been saving lives all along
It's
the
not
way.
in frame.
And under President Trump's leadership, Operation Warp Speed, we believe will have literally tens of millions of doses of vaccine. before the
Operation
end of
Warp
this
Speed.
year. The reality is, when you look at the
Is that what he said?
plan, it
Yeah.
needs an awful lot. But President
I
Trump
want to hear
allowed
why
us
though.
to
I still want to hear his answer to the question.
And quite frankly,
I feel like this is a very
when I
baity
look at
question.
their plan that talks about
That's why I want to hear the
Like,
answer.
what answer do they expect him to give? I don't understand the question.
They want him to say we fucked up.
it looks a little bit like
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's very baity.
Joe Biden knows a little
Kamala
bit
Harris
about.
gets a fucking
I think the American people know
easy
that
question. This guy has to explain why there's deaths in America because of a virus.
I believe with my heart can be proud of the
I mean,
sacrifices
She's
that
I feel like he
laughing, bro.
should be able to if he's the head of the pandemic response team. If you can't answer that, that's a little concerning.
Absolutely. Whatever the vice president is claiming the administration has done, clearly it hasn't worked. When you're looking at over 210,000
That's what I was gonna say, like-
bodies in our country, American lives that have been lost. families
Once
that are
again, this is
grieving
very easy
that
for
loss.
Kamala Harris to
And,
say.
you know,
Yep, that is true.
the vice
She didn't have to
president
deal
is
with
the
it.
head of the
Yeah.
task force and knew on January 28th how serious this was. And then, thanks to Bob Woodward, we learned that they knew about it. And then when that was exposed,
Bob Woodward tapes.
the vice president said, when asked, well, why didn't y'all tell anybody? He said, because the president wanted people to remain calm.
Well, let's get
So no, but Susan, this is important.
Susan,
And I want to add, but if Mr.
Uh-oh,
Vice President,
uh-oh.
I'm speaking.
I have to
I'm
weigh
speaking.
Oh,
You
See,
got 15
very
more
nasty.
seconds, and then we'll give the vice president
Thank
a
you.
chance to
So I
respond.
want to ask the American people, how calm were you when you were panicked about where you're going to get your next roll of toilet paper? How calm were you when your kids were sent home from school and you didn't know when they could go back? How calm
Thank
were
you.
you
Thank
when
you,
your
Senator
children
Harris.
couldn't see your parents because you were afraid they could kill them?
Let's give Vice President Pence a chance to respond. Vice President Pence, you have 1 minute to
You know,
respond.
there's not a day gone by that I haven't thought of every American family that's lost a loved one. And I
everyone,
want all of you
name
to know
them.
that-
Like, damn, it hasn't even been that many days, bro.
But when you say what
200,000
the
days.
American people have done over these last 8 months hasn't worked. That's a great disservice to the sacrifices the American people have made.
I'm
But
referring
the
to
reality, if I may finish, Senator.
Damn, now I'm speaking, Kamala.
Yeah.
Everything that he told the president in the Oval Office, the president told the American people. Now, President Trump, I will tell you, has boundless confidence in the American people, and he always spoke with confidence that we'd get through this together. But when you say it hasn't worked, when Dr. Fauci and Dr. Birx and our medical experts came to us in the second week of March, they said if the president didn't take the unprecedented step of shutting down roughly half of the American economy, that we could lose 2.2 million Americans. And that's the reality.
Thank you.
They also
Thank you,
said
Vice
to us if we did
President
everything right, Susan,
It's not a
we
bad
could
number.
still
We got
lose
like
more than
300 million
200,000
people here.
Americans.
Vice
Now,
President,
life lost is
I mean, whatever we did, I feel like if we wouldn't have done, if they wouldn't have done that, yeah, it would have definitely been way fucking worse.
Yeah.
The health of their family and their neighbors first, our doctors, our nurses, our first
Thank you, Vice
responders.
President Pence.
And I'm going to speak up on behalf of what the American people have done.
Vice President Pence, you were in the front row.
I think the biggest thing to me is that he was just giving Trump was just giving a false sense of confidence in terms of the virus, that it wasn't that bad.
Yeah. I don't think that was the smartest.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
which
I don't
he shouldn't have done.
I don't think anyone can defend him on that either.
Yeah, because he knew it was a bad virus.
And
he should have just said so.
To protect themselves from COVID, when you at the White House have not been doing so.
Well, the American people have demonstrated over the last
Yeah, these are Beatty questions.
that when given the facts, they're willing to put the health of their families and their neighbors and people they don't even know first. And President Trump and I have great confidence in the American people and their ability to take that information and put it into practice. In the height of the
Damn, bro, she even writes
epidemic,
notes.
when we were losing a heartbreaking number of 2,500 Americans a day, we surged resources to New Jersey and New York and New Orleans and Detroit. We told the American people what needed to be done, and the American people made the sacrifices. When the outbreak in the Sun Belt happened this summer, again, Americans stepped forward. But the reality is the work of the President of the United States goes on. A vacancy on the Supreme Court of the United States has come upon us, and the President introduced Judge Amy Coney
Yes,
Barrett.
thank you, Vice President
At
Pence.
that, if I may say, that Rose Garden event, there's been a great deal of speculation about it. My wife Karen and I were there and honored to be there. Many of the people who were at that event, Susan, actually were tested for coronavirus, and it was an outdoor event, which all of our scientists regularly and routinely advise. The difference here is President Trump and I trust the American people to make choices in the best interest of their health. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris consistently talk about mandates, and not just mandates with the coronavirus, but a government takeover of health care,
Thank you,
the Green New Deal.
Can I say,
all government
it is
control. We're about to
very
start
odd
respecting the freedom of
seeing a
Let's
VP
talk about
that
respecting
is
the American people.
very well
You
spoken.
respect the American people when you tell them the
They're like
truth.
polar opposites.
Polar opposites.
Yeah.
The courage
Which we've
to be a
always
leader, speaking of those things that you may not want people to hear, but they need to hear so they can protect themselves. But this administration stood on.
Yeah, that's kind of hypocritical to say, oh, we entrust the people to protect themselves, yet they don't want to tell them because they want to keep them calm. Like,
Because
I don't think both those things work together.
Administration that was unwilling to speak the truth to the American people. So let's talk about caring about the American people. The American people have had to sacrifice far too much because of the incompetence of this administration. It is asking too much of the
Oh, he's
people.
mad.
It is asking too much of the people. That they would not be equipped with the information they need to help themselves to protect
Susan,
their parents
President-
and their
I'm sorry.
children.
Kamala Harris, Senator Harris, I'm sorry.
That's fine, I'm Kamala.
No. For life to get back to normal.
I'm calm.
Dr. Anthony Fauci-
No, I think she said I'm Kamala.
Yeah, I'm calm.
People who can be vaccinated need to be vaccinated.
This
But half
fucking
of
thing
Americans
keeps
now say
slipping,
they
bro.
wouldn't take a vaccine if it was released now. If the Trump administration approves a vaccine before or after the election, should Americans take it, and would you take it?
If the public health professionals, if Dr. Fauci, if the doctors tell us that we should take it, I'll be the first in line to take it. Absolutely. But if Donald Trump tells us that we should take it, I'm not taking it.
Vice President Pence, there have been a lot of repercussions from this pandemic. In recent days, the president's diagnosis has underscored the importance.
But what if they're both saying it?
Yeah, I
What if
mean,
it's the science? What if it's the doctors and Trump?
There's a very thin line of misleading Americans when you say something like that.
Yeah.
You will be the vice president to the oldest president the United States has ever had. Donald Trump will
She
be
knows it.
74 years old on inauguration
She knows she's gonna be
day.
the next president
Joe
after
Biden
him.
will be 78. Already has raised concerns among some voters, concerns that have been sharpened by President Trump's hospitalization in recent days. Vice President Pence, have you had a conversation or reached an agreement with President Trump about safeguards or procedures when it comes to the issue of presidential disability? And if not, do you think you should? You have 2 minutes without interruption.
Well, Susan, thank you, although I would like to go back.
I think we need to move on
Well,
to the
thank
issue
you,
of...
but I would like to
Oh, well, thank you.
because the reality is that we're going
Cut the
to
mic.
have a vaccine,
Right.
Senator, in record
Ain't no going
time,
back.
in unheard of time, in less than a year. We have 5 companies in phase 3 clinical trials, and we're right now producing tens of millions of doses.
Let's pump.
So-
Wait, what?
The fact that you continue
30
to
stocking up?
undermine public confidence in a vaccine, if the vaccine emerges during the Trump administration, I think is unconscionable.
I think they have a lot of faith in this vaccine.
Who?
Stop playing
The people?
politics
Yeah.
with people.
No,
Oh, him?
Or them, the administration.
The reality is,
Yeah, they
we
do.
will have a vaccine. We
What
will
if
They've
this
been-
shit
Which
doesn't work?
I don't think is a bad thing, especially with
Yeah.
everything going on right now with all these anti-vaxxers.
Well, they've been pumping a lot of money into testing for it.
Mm.
Of confidence in a vaccine is just it's just unacceptable. And let me also say, the reality is when you talk about failure in this administration, we actually do know what failure looks like in a pandemic. It was 2009. The swine flu arrived in the United States.
Oh, finally
Thankfully,
someone
it
brings
was-
this up.
Ended up not being as lethal as the coronavirus. But before the end of the year, when Joe Biden was vice president of the United States, not 7.5 million people contracted the swine flu. 60 million Americans contracted the swine flu.
Yeah,
If the
we had to
swine
learn
flu
from
was
that.
lethal as the coronavirus, in 2009, when Joe Biden was vice president, we would have lost 2 million American lives. His own chief of staff, Ron Klain, would say last year that it was pure luck that they did, quote, everything possible wrong. And
Jesus Christ. That's the worst insult I've ever heard.
An hollow plan, but we
Thank you,
still
Vice
learn
President
from it,
Pence.
and I think
Vice
the
President
American
Pence, your
people,
time is
I'm going
up.
to say again, can be
Vice
proud
President Pence, I'm sorry,
of
your
what
time
we
is
have
up.
done. And Senator, please
Thank you, Vice
stop
President
undermining
Pence.
Camel's kinda
confidence in the
hot.
vaccine.
Senator Harris, let me ask you the same question that I asked
Sure.
Vice President Pence, which is, have you had a conversation or reached an agreement?
I don't know why,
with
but her
President
constant
Biden
smiling and
about
laughing is bothering
safeguards
me.
or procedures when it
Kamala.
comes to the
Kamala?
issue
I don't know
of
why, man.
presidential disability? And if not, and if you win the election next month, do you think you should? You have 2 minutes uninterrupted.
So let me tell you, first of all, the day I got the call from Joe Biden, it was actually a Zoom call.
Okay.
Asking me
Make that a
to
point.
serve with him on this ticket was probably one of the most memorable,
She advertising for them?
memorable days of my life.
The
I thought
Zoom
about
super
my
PAC.
mother. Came to the United States at the age of 19. Gave birth to me at the age of 25 at Kaiser Hospital in Oakland, California. And the thought that I'd be sitting here right now, I know would make her proud. And she must be looking down on this.
Okay.
Joe
Or
and
up.
I were raised in a very similar way. We were raised with values that are about hard work, about the value and the dignity of public service, and about the importance
people in
of
jail?
fighting for the dignity of all people. And I think Joe asked me to serve with him because, I have a career that included being elected the first woman district attorney of San Francisco, where I created models of innovation for law enforcement in terms of reform of the criminal justice system. I was elected the first woman of color and black woman to be elected Attorney General of the state of California, where I ran the second largest Department of Justice in the United States, second only to the United States Department of Justice.
Oh,
And
damn.
there I took on everything from transnational
Does it
criminal
look like she has a
organizations
nervous tick
to the
going
big
on?
banks that were taking advantage of
Like
homeowners
what?
to
Where?
for-profit colleges
I feel
that
like
were
she's,
taking
like-
advantage of veterans.
Like kicking a little.
And then, of course, now I serve in the United
think she's
States
just
Senate as
bouncing.
only the second black woman ever elected to the United
Yeah,
States
just
Senate. I
She
serve
bounces
as
when
the
she
first
speaks?
black
Nodding.
lady where I
Yeah, the
committed
nodding is just like
regular
making
Is that what it is?
of
I think so.
classified information
I just
about
keep looking at her
threats
fucking
to
left
our
shoulder,
nation,
and I just keep
hotspots
seeing
around
that
the
shit
world.
move.
I've traveled the world.
bounce
I've
those
met
tits.
with our soldiers in our war zones.
Just kidding.
And,
Ah, my
has
thing fell
asked me
again.
to serve with him because
damn it.
he
So you
knows that
get-
we share a purpose, which is about lifting up the American people. And after the 4 years that we have seen of Donald Trump unifying our country around our common values and principles.
Thank you, Senator Harris. Neither
Yeah, you stop running with that.
President Trump nor
They
Vice
both
President
didn't
Biden
answer
has
the fucking question.
health information.
They don't wanna
that they
acknowledge that they're both
become
old as
more
fuck.
Until the 2016 election. And in recent days, President Trump's doctors have given misleading answers or refused to answer basic questions about his health. And my question to each of you in turn is this information voters deserve to know? Vice
100%.
President Pence, would you like to go first?
Well,
I think so.
Thank you.
What was the fucking question again?
Pretty much asking we should know the health condition that the presidents are in.
how moved we've all been.
I feel like we should, man. Like, even if it was Biden, like, I want to know if he's likely to die in the next month. You know what I
I
mean?
believe it's emblematic of the prayers and the
Yeah, I think it's much better to have a
For either of them.
American impacted by the
I mean,
coronavirus.
maybe it's an
Updates.
issue of national security, but
I don't
Walter
think.
Reed Hospital,
I don't know.
I would wanna know.
was exceptional. And the transparency that they practiced all along the way will continue. The American people have a right to know about the health and well-being of their president, and will continue to do that. But I'm just extremely grateful, and was more than a little moved by the broad and bipartisan support. And Senator, I want to thank you and Joe Biden for your expressions and genuine concern. And I also
that's
want
sweet.
to congratulate you. As I did on
behind
that
the
phone
scenes.
call,
They're not fucking fighting, bro.
on the historic nature
not arguing.
of your nomination.
nah.
Oh, man.
I never expected to be on this stage 4 years ago, so I know the feeling. But the reality is,
Oh man, that's kind of sweet.
Dude, no, fuck that. This
I know,
is
this-
strategic debating right here.
Yep.
This is fucking beautiful.
this has never been
I
clear.
want to give
Oh,
Senator
parse.
You can't be on the attack
I'm
the whole
just a
time.
good guy.
Yeah.
And I got a skinny urete.
More detailed,
No, that's Hank Hill. That's his son.
especially when they're facing some kind of challenge.
Absolutely, and that's why Joe Biden has been so incredibly transparent, and certainly by contrast, the president has not, both in terms of...
He's like, bro, I just complimented you. What you doing?
We now know, because of great investigative journalism, that Donald Trump paid $750 in
Oh.
taxes. When I first heard about it, I literally
Mike
said,
Pence didn't like that.
$750,000, and it was like, no, $750.
Okay.
We now know Donald Trump owes
This answer took a right
and
turn.
is in debt
Mm-hmm.
for $400 million. And just so
Wait,
everyone
what
is
the
clear,
Wait,
when
really?
we say in debt, it means you owe money to somebody. And it'd be really good to know who the President of the United States, the Commander-in-Chief, owes money to, because the American people have a right to know what is influencing the president's decisions, and is he making
If it's
those
taxes,
decisions
isn't
on
it
the
Uncle
best
Sam?
interest of the American people, of you?
I don't
$400
know.
million in taxes, though?
Susan,
I don't think it's in taxes.
Because it
that what
has
she's
to be
saying?
across
She said in debt. I think that would make sense because if you're in debt, you're reporting losses and you're going to be paying a lot less in taxes.
He puts it all out there. He is honest. He is forthright. But Donald Trump, on the other hand, has been about covering up everything.
Thank you, Senator Harris. I want to give you a chance to respond, Vice President.
Well, look,
Damn
I
it,
respect
okay,
the
I'm gonna
fact
look that up.
Joe
Is
Biden
that
spent
true?
40
He's
years
$400 million
public
in
life.
debt?
I respect your public service as well.
Thank you.
But the American people have a president who's a businessman, who's a job creator, who's paid tens of millions of dollars in taxes, payroll taxes, property taxes. He's created tens
Prove
of
it.
thousands of American jobs.
Pull up the
The
records.
president said those public reports are not accurate, and the president's also released literally stacks of financial disclosures.
apparently
the
it
American
is.
people can
Jesus.
review just as the law allows. But the distinction here is that Joe Biden, 47 years in public service, compared to President Donald Trump, who brought all of that experience 4 years ago.
Thank you,
And
Vice President.
turned this economy around by cutting taxes, rolling back regulation,
Thank you,
unleashing
Vice
American
President.
energy, fighting for free and fair trade, and all
Thank-
of that's
thank you,
on the
Vice
line
President
if Joe
Pence.
Biden
Was that a fucking
and
minute?
Kamala Harris
You know, that's a
are
good
the White
segue into our third
great
topic,
segue.
which is about the economy. This has been another aspect of life for Americans that's been so affected by this coronavirus. We have a jobs crisis brewing. On Friday, we learned that the unemployment rate had declined to 7.9% in September, but the job growth had stalled. And that
Sorry
was
about your
before
ears.
The latest round of layoffs and furloughs
It's honestly-
in the airline
oh.
industry at Disney and elsewhere.
Never mind.
Turn the mic off
Thousands
before you
of
do that next time.
discouraged workers have stopped looking for work. Nearly 11 million jobs that existed at the beginning of the year haven't been replaced. Those hardest hit include Latinos, blacks, and women.
Oh, Jesus.
The Biden-Harris
What the fuck?
campaign
Okay.
has proposed new
I guess it's just
programs to
connection.
boost the economy, and it would
Dude,
pay
I did
for
see
that.
this one post today
Spending by raising $4 trillion in taxes
about the
on
economy because they're always
wealthy
talking about
individuals and
unemployment rates,
corporations.
right?
Some economists warn that could curb.
Yeah, I don't think it's fair to say Donald Trump
that
turned
fuel growth
the economy
and
around
jobs.
because
Would
where you
raising
go. If
taxes
you
put
check
the
on the Bureau of
economy at risk
Statistics,
and
you can
have
actually
two
find a
minutes to answer
graph
uninterrupted.
of unemployment trends. since 2008.
I think there couldn't be
You could see
This is
that.
a fucking slope
This
down.
is
hill.
actually
Yeah.
an actually good question.
Which he asked?
Raising taxes, will it help recovery of the economy or something like that?
Okay.
And the American family.
But yeah, if you
On
look,
the other hand, you have Donald Trump.
it was just following the trend.
What I don't like
based on how rich people
about
are doing,
what you're saying,
which
James,
is
is
why
that
he passed a tax bill.
the economy
Targeting
argument
the top
works
1% and
for,
the biggest
one
corporations of
administration, and then it
America,
doesn't work for the
leading
other.
to a
What do you mean?
$2 trillion
Like,
deficit
let's
that the
use like
American people
Bill
have to
Clinton.
pay.
Is this is,
Like
sorry,
the
I mean,
economy
is
was
that hyped
good.
up?
Joe Biden.
That's when the pandemics.
Oh, okay.
The economy was good when Bill Clinton, and that's why everyone liked him. You know, everyone was working, everyone had jobs.
Through a plan that is about
And people will use that as a reasoning for why he was a good
Mhm.
president, you know. And I just don't like when it's flippy floppy that, okay, the economy was good, oh, the economy was bad. That
It means a bad
Equip-
president.
yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think that's why I wanted to point that out. Like, the economy is a much more flexible, or like, what's the word? It's not tied to a time period of 4 years to one president. There's so much more complexity to it.
Invest in education. So, for example, for folks who want to go to a 2-year community college, it will be free. If you come from a family that makes less than $125,000, you'll go to a public university for free. And
Oh, man, that would've been
across
nice.
the board, we'll make sure that if you have student loan debt, it's cut by $10,000. That's how Joe Biden thinks about the economy, which is it's about investing.
I don't know
in
if that's
the
a
people of our
solution, though.
country, as opposed to passing a tax bill, which had the benefit of letting American corporations go offshore to do their business.
Thank you,
You're
Senator Harris. Vice President Pence, your administration has been predicting a rapid and robust recovery, but the latest economic report suggests that's not happening. Should Americans be braced for an economic comeback that is going to take not months, but a year or more? You have 2 minutes to answer uninterrupted.
When President Trump and I took office, America had gone through the slowest economic recovery since the Great Depression. So when Joe Biden was vice president, they tried to tax and spend and regulate and bail our way back to a growing economy. President Trump cut taxes across the board. Despite what Senator Harris says, the average American family of four had $2,000 in savings in taxes. And with the rise in wages that occurred, most predominantly for blue-collar, hard-working Americans, the average household income for a family of four increased by $4,000 following President Trump's tax cuts. But America, you just heard Senator Harris tell you, on day one, Joe Biden's going to raise your taxes. It's really remarkable to think, Susan. I mean, right after a time where we're going through a pandemic that lost 22 million jobs at the height, we've already added back 11.6 million jobs because we had a president who cut taxes, rolled back regulation, unleashed American energy, fought for free and fair trade, and secured $4 trillion from the Congress of the United States to give direct payments to families, saved 50 million jobs through the Paycheck Protection Program. We literally have spared no expense to help the American people and the American worker through this. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris want to raise taxes. They want to bury our economy under a $2 trillion Green New Deal, which you were one of the original co-sponsors of in the United States Senate. They want to abolish fossil fuels and ban fracking, which would cost hundreds of thousands of American jobs all across the heartland. And Joe Biden wants to go back to the economic surrender to China, that when we took office, half of our international trade deficit was with China alone. And Joe Biden wants to repeal all of the tariffs that President Trump put into effect to fight for American jobs and American workers. Joe Biden says democracy's on the ballot. Make no mistake about it, Susan. The American economy, the American comeback is on the ballot with 4 more years of growth and opportunity, 4 more years of President Donald Trump. 2021 is going to be the biggest economic year in the history of this country.
Thank you, Vice President Pence.
I think what we're seeing here is two different game plans of this debate, right? Kamala Harris is trying to strike an emotional chord with people, I would feel, with everything she said. And Mike Pence, he's throwing out a lot of numbers and a lot of things I don't know is true, but it sounds like he's trying to take a more like strategic fact
Joe Biden is
aspect. I don't know if it's actual fact or not.
Yeah, but
It's a lot of
data out there.
Yeah, it's a lot of information that I don't know is right, but fuck, it's kind of cool seeing how they both are coming into this in different ways.
Is he only going to repeal part of the Trump tax cuts?
If you don't mind letting me finish, we can then have a conversation, okay?
Please.
Okay. Joe Biden will not raise taxes on anyone who makes less than $400,000 a year. He has been very clear about that. Joe Biden will not end fracking. He has been very clear about that. Joe Biden is the one who,
The fuck was that?
during
You went,
the recession, was responsible for the Recovery Act that brought America back, and now the Trump-Pence administration wants to take credit when they rode the coattails of Joe Biden's success for the economy that they had at the beginning of their term. Of course, now the economy is a complete disaster. But Joe Biden, on the one hand, did that. On the other hand, you have Donald Trump, who has reigned over a recession that is being compared to the Great Depression. On the one hand, you have Joe Biden, who was responsible with President Barack Obama for the Affordable Care Act, which brought health care to over 20 million Americans and protected people with pre-existing conditions. And what it also did is it saved those families who otherwise were going bankrupt because of hospital bills they could not afford. On the other hand, you have Donald Trump, who's in court right now, trying to get rid of the Affordable Care Act, which means that you will lose protections if you have pre-existing conditions. And this is very important, Susan.
Yes,
and it's
but we need to get Vice President.
I just like he interrupted me, and I'd like to just finish, please.
Damn, she's fucking
If you have a
stern.
pre-existing condition, heart disease, diabetes, breast cancer, they're coming for you. If you love someone who has a pre-existing condition,
yeah, she's totally going the more emotional route.
Told you, man.
26 on your parents'
I thought she was gonna
they're
cry at
coming
one
for
point.
you.
Senator Harris, thank you. Let me give you
Dude,
a-
imagine if she did.
Let's talk about health care,
Bro.
because Obamacare was a disaster. The American people remember it well. And President Trump and I have a plan to improve health care and to protect pre-existing conditions for every American. But look, Senator Harris, you're entitled to your own opinion, but you're not entitled to your own facts. You yourself said on multiple occasions when you were running for president that you would ban fracking.
Was she writing down that
Biden
quote?
Looked at a supporter in the eye and pointed and said, I guarantee that we will abolish fossil fuels. They have a $2 trillion version of the Green New Deal, Susan, that your newspaper, USA Today, said really wasn't that very different from the original Green New Deal. More taxes, more regulation, banning fracking, abolishing fossil fuel, crushing American energy, and economic surrender to China is a prescription for economic decline. President Trump and I will keep America growing. The V-shaped recovery that's underway right now will continue with 4 more years of President Donald Trump.
Thank you very, very much, Vice President.
Let's talk about some climate change,
provided
huh?
the perfect segue, which is
I think what sucks about these
And Vice
debates
President Pence, I'd like to pose
is
the
like
next question to
they
you.
could just say all this
This year
shit
we've seen
Yeah.
record-setting
without having to back it
hurricanes in
up,
the South.
without having to
Another
show
one,
proof,
Hurricane
you know?
Delta is now threatening the Gulf. And we have seen record-setting wildfires in the West. Do you believe, as the scientific community has concluded,
Ooh, here we
that
go.
man-made climate change
Thank you.
has made wildfires bigger, hotter, and more deadly, and have made hurricanes wetter, slower, and more damaging?
And radioactive.
You have 2 minutes on your-
Hurricanes wetter.
He's gonna be like, we just gotta nuke them. Just nuke the hurricanes.
According to all the
Operation
best
Nuke 'em.
estimates, our air and land are cleaner than any time ever recorded.
Oh my
And
God.
our water is among the cleanest in the world. And just a little while ago, the president signed the Outdoors Act. It's the largest investment in our public lands and public parks
Ooh, is that true?
in 100 years.
I would like to know about
President
that.
Trump has made a commitment to conservation.
He just signed
of
it?
the environment.
That's what he
Now,
said.
with
What was the
regard
name
to
of it?
climate change,
The
Outdoors
Outdoors
Act?
Act?
the climate is changing. The issue
Oh, I thought he was in the
is,
hospital. What are you signing?
what's the cause and what do we do about it?
Better burn the
President
pen
Trump has
after.
made it clear that we continue to listen to the science. Now, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris would put us back in the Paris Climate Accord. They'd impose
Interesting.
a Green New Deal, which would crush American energy, would increase the energy costs of American families in their homes, and literally would crush American jobs. And President Trump and I believe that the progress that we have made in a cleaner environment has been happening precisely because we have a strong free market economy. You know, what's remarkable is the United States has reduced CO2 more than the countries that are still in the Paris Climate Accord, but we've done it through
I found it.
innovation.
I'll read it after.
Okay.
And we've done it through natural gas and fracking, which, Senator, the American people can go look at the record. I know Joe Biden says otherwise now, as you do. But the
What is
both of you
fracking exactly?
repeatedly committed to
Dude, I
abolishing
tried to look it
fossil
up,
fuel
and it's
banning.
like,
It's like a type of like mining
Yeah.
where they're like shooting water,
Yeah.
from my understanding.
Toward a stronger and better
For mining for what?
with regard to
I think it's for natural gas.
President Trump and I believe that forest management
But I've heard it's like really harmful on the environment, and then that's what they were saying caused like I don't know if you what city it was, but the water was literally coming out flammable. Like you could light the water on fire,
tells us that actually
and supposedly that was caused by
there are
fracking.
no more hurricanes today than there were 100
I'm just gonna
years
read it.
ago. But many of
This
those
is from
climate
the
hurricanes,
National Park
wildfires
Service.
to try and
The Trump administration worked with Congress to secure this passage of this landmark conservation legislation,
first.
Senator Harris,
which will use revenues from energy development to provide up to 1.9 billion a year for 5 years to provide needed maintenance for critical facilities and infrastructure in our national parks, forests, wildlife refuges, recreation areas, and American Indian schools.
What exactly would be the
Sounds like a
stance
good thing.
of the Biden-Harris administration toward the
I feel it
Green
hard
Deal?
for me
You have
to
2
care
minutes uninterrupted.
about
Sure.
him
So,
saying
first of all, I will repeat
that if we
and
take away
American
fossil
people
fuels, we're taking away
that
jobs.
Joe Biden will
because
not ban fracking. That is a
To me,
fact.
the climate
That is
is
a
more
fact.
important
And jobs, I
than
agree.
jobs.
Yeah.
Like, I understand if he said that, and then if he followed it up with,
That
well,
he thinks about
also we are
growing jobs, which is
researching
why he will
to
not
see if we can
increase
find a
taxes for
renewable
anyone
source
who
of
makes less
energy.
than
I don't hear that at all.
No,
Right?
yeah.
Joe Biden-
You know, I'm
I
not
think-
saying I don't care about, you know, I understand that people who are directly involved with working with fossil fuels have families and shit, but
Right.
than Donald Trump.
it's
I
just
feel like it's not an
hard to-
excuse.
yeah.
though. It's not an
Will be created
excuse.
by Joe Biden are gonna be
Like, the climate
about
is
clean
definitely
energy
changing.
and renewable
Mhm.
energy. Because you see,
Yeah, we can't deny that anymore.
that the west coast of our country is burning, including my home state of California. Joe sees what is happening on the Gulf states, which are being battered by storms. Joe has seen and talked with the farmers in Iowa, whose entire crops have been destroyed because of floods. And so Joe believes, again, in science. I'll tell you something, Susan. I served, when I first got to the Senate, on the committee that's responsible for the environment. Do you know this administration took the word science off the website and then took the phrase climate change off the website? We have seen a pattern with this administration, which is they
That is
don't
one thing
believe
that's
in
true.
science.
They've been
And
very
Joe's plan is about
hostile
saying we're gonna deal with
towards
this,
the
but we're also
scientific
gonna create
community.
jobs. Donald Trump, when asked about the wildfires in California, and the question was, you know, the science is telling us this. You know what Donald Trump said? Science doesn't know. So
He did
let's
say
talk
that.
about who is prepared to lead our country over the course of the next 4 years on what is an existential threat to us as human beings. Joe is about saying we're going to invest that in renewable energy. It's going to be about the creation of millions of jobs. We will achieve.
See, that's what I don't understand either. Like, won't that create more jobs?
By 2050,
Yeah,
carbon neutral by
right?
I feel like it would.
2035.
I
Joe
would
has
think
a
the
plan.
smart thing to do
This has been a lot of
is
talk from the Trump administration, and
is
really
to
has
have
been to go
fossil fuels
backward instead of
as
forward. We will
an
also-
energy
Like,
source.
phase it out.
Yes,
Yeah,
that would be
yeah.
the smart thing, right? You don't want to just
Yeah.
fucking
Oh, yeah, I'm not saying
you don't
cut it
don't
off.
quit a job
Yeah.
before having another job lined
Yeah.
up, right?
No, I agree.
An existential threat.
My point is that his main point about keeping
Yeah.
fossil fuels is just because of jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's like, to me, it's like, okay, well,
Once again,
That's the thing, like,
Senator
oh,
Harris,
fuck. I want to listen, but
is denying the fact that they're going to raise taxes on every American. Joe Biden said twice in the debate last week
Back
that
to
on
taxes.
Day one, he was going to repeal the Trump tax cuts. Those tax cuts delivered $2,000 in tax relief to the average family of 4 across.
I want to know if that's true too.
With regard
Did
to
you notice
He
a
just
change
said-
in your taxes?
he said $4,000 earlier.
You yourself
No, it
said
actually-
recently
it actually
that
hurt me.
fracking. You
Your taxes went up?
well, no, it didn't go up. But there's things I couldn't write off anymore.
For
work.
So you ended up
I-
paying
so-
more
Thank you for pointing out.
in taxes?
Um,
Or how did it hurt you?
I would say no. I mean, writing it off gets me like a couple of, maybe $200, $300 more.
Okay.
Which ain't much of a difference, but
So it's about the same.
I'm smart enough to make sure that the government takes out extra money from me weekly, so by the end of the year I get a nice return.
Reducing CO2 emissions through American innovation and the development of natural gas through fracking. We don't need a massive $2 trillion Green New Deal that would impose all new mandates on American businesses and American families.
I think the problem with the Green New Deal is Republicans keep putting a number on it, and Democrats are saying that no, that's not how much it'd be, but they also don't give a number.
They don't put a number. Yeah. I don't know. I get tired of everything being about money. Everything. You know what I mean? Like, it seems like that's the most important thing to them or to that side, and it's like that's not the most important thing in the world. Like, it's important for sure.
Yeah.
But like, is life not important? Is health not important? I don't know.
That's why I wish, like, during the pandemic segment, that they would have talked about how the Senate, how Nancy Pelosi, how Donald Trump all have not come together to figure out another fucking plan to get people money, you know?
Because that's the thing. Because for either side, it's about how the rich get more money secretly. They're not going to say that out loud, but that's what it is. They don't give a fuck about middle class, especially not the lower class. And I think that's what sucks. That's what sucks. The majority of the people in this country do not have a lot of money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I would think that's something that would come to an agreement on. You know, it's not like these are the American people. You both have to know that we need something to help us at this moment.
These are the fucking people that elected you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's like like that commercial said, there is a lack of bipartisanship in Washington.
Oh, definitely.
Thank you, Senator Harris. Vice President Pence, let me give you just 15 seconds to respond, because then I want to...
Well,
Damn, 15 seconds?
15 seconds?
Lost the trade war with China.
Over.
Joe
See?
Biden never fought.
That's 15.
Joe Biden's been a cheerleader for communist China through over the last decades. And
cheerleader.
Again, Senator Harris, you're entitled to your opinion. You're not entitled to your own facts. When Joe Biden was vice president, we lost 200,000 manufacturing jobs. And President Obama said they were never coming back. He said we needed a magic wand to bring them back. In our first 3 years after we cut taxes, rolled back regulation, unleashed American energy, this administration saw 500,000 manufacturing jobs created. And that's exactly the kind of growth we're going to continue to see as we bring our
I don't know. I don't know enough to like really speak on that, but like that also does not appeal to me. I don't want to work a manufacturing job. I don't want to work in a fucking factory making nearly minimum wage, busting my fucking back to make someone else stupid rich.
And you voted against it. So let's set the record straight. Thank you.
I'd like to talk about China. We have,
Fucking
as our
Oreo.
next topic,
Keeps meowing.
we have no
Oh, I can't
more
hear her.
complicated or consequential foreign relationship than the one with China. It is a huge market for American agricultural goods. It's a potential partner in dealing with climate change in North Korea. And in a video tonight, President Trump again blamed it for the coronavirus, saying China will pay. Vice President Pence, how would you describe our
You make it sound like a
fundamental
fucking
relationship with China?
evil
Competitors,
dictator.
adversaries, enemies? You have 2 minutes.
It's like China will pay. Just like how Mexico paid for the wall.
voting records if I can.
Bro,
You know,
hold on.
Everybody knows that NAFTA cost literally thousands of American factories to close. We saw automotive jobs go south of the border. President Trump fought to renegotiate NAFTA. In the United States, Mexico...
Yeah, dude, that's a double-edged sword. NAFTA was fucked, but like free borders just fucks the whole situation even worse with the cartels and overall border violence.
It was a huge win for American auto workers. It was a huge win for American farmers, especially dairy in the upper Midwest. But Senator, you said it didn't go far enough on climate change, that you put your radical environmental agenda ahead of American auto workers and ahead of American jobs. The American people deserve to know that. It's probably why Newsweek magazine said that Kamala Harris was the most liberal member of the United States Senate in 2019. More liberal than Bernie Sanders.
I don't see
more
the
liberal
problem with
than
that.
any of the others
I don't think
in
she's
the
more
United
liberal
States
than
Senate.
Bernie,
So,
dude.
now, with regard
Can you
Oh,
get
yeah,
more liberal
no.
than Bernie?
Susan
No,
Fishman
that's
told me,
the reason why he lost.
Yeah, pretty
China
much.
is to blame.
Dude, I just imagine her writing down, fuck this guy.
She's drawing little stick pictures, stick figures, like fucking X's.
China and the World Health
Fuck, I
Organization
forgot what I was
play
gonna say.
straight with the American people. They did not let our personnel.
Dude, these things go right through me. I gotta piss.
Yeah, they're like water.
Practically water.
Fortunately,
much.
President Trump, in dealing with China from the outset of this administration, standing up to China that had been taking advantage of America for decades in the wake of Joe Biden's cheerleading for China. President Trump made that decision before the end of January to suspend all travel from China. And again, the American people deserve to know Joe Biden opposed President Trump's decision to suspend all travel from China. He said it was hysterical. He said it
Thank
was
you, Vice
xenophobic.
President Pence.
But President Trump has
Vice President
stood
Pence,
up
your
to
time is
China.
up.
We're going to continue to stand strong.
Thank you, Vice President Pence.
We want to improve the relationship, but we're going to level the playing field, and we're going to hold
Vice President
China
Pence.
accountable for what they did to America with the coronavirus.
Thank you. Senator
How?
Harris, let me ask you the same
Oh, I
question
remember what I was gonna
that
say.
I asked
Spank 'em?
the Vice
Real quick, have you guys seen
President.
videos
How would you
of the wall
describe our
recently?
fundamental relationship
No.
with China? Are we competitors,
For one,
adversaries,
like there's been a lot of
enemies?
flooding, and it's
You'll have
literally
2
washed out
minutes
most of the
uninterrupted.
foundation, so you can literally just crawl like right under it.
Trump
And then
administration's
there's like so many parts where it just ends.
perspective
like,
approach to China
like it'll be in like a
resulted
random
in the
field,
loss
and the
of
wall just
American
ends,
lives,
so you can literally just walk around it.
American jobs, and
I'll have to look at that
American
because the company that was
There's a weird
in
obsession
charge of the
that
columns that
President
holds
Trump
the
has
roof
had
for the Ram
with getting
Stadium,
rid of
they're in
whatever
charge of the
Of the wall?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Or
There's
at least for sections of
there's
it.
like
I don't know.
videos showing people like crawling under the wall and like, yeah,
created within
it's
the
just not going
White
well.
House, an office that basically was responsible for monitoring pandemics. They got away. They got rid of it.
Not true.
There was a team of disease experts that President Obama
I remember hearing
and
something
Vice
about
President
that.
Yeah,
Biden dispatched
I remember
to
this as well.
to monitor
Dude, why does his left eye look
is now
fucked?
predictable and what might happen.
Like when he
They
looks at
pulled
her?
them out.
Oh, yeah, it's all bloodshot.
We
Yeah,
now
dude.
are looking
Our
at
left or his left?
210,000
His left.
Americans who have lost their lives.
Like the far corner.
Let's
of it.
look at
Dude, I have like crazy glare from the light, so like I
Oh.
can't see this half of the screen that well.
the trade war, they wanted to call it, with China. It resulted in the loss of over 300 manufacturing jobs and a manufacturing recession. And the American
I will say
consumer
this
paid
isn't as fun
thousands
as
of
the
dollars
presidential.
because of that failed war. that they
This
caused.
is a debate. This is
This
how
is a
it
real
normally
debate,
goes,
yeah.
A reputable
It's not supposed to be
research
entertaining.
firm
No.
has done an analysis.
It's
that
too sober
shows
for this.
that leaders of all of our formerly allied countries have now decided that they hold in greater esteem and respect Xi Jinping, the head of the Chinese Communist Party, than they do Donald Trump, the President of the United States, the Commander-in-Chief of the United States. This is where we are today.
I don't even know where I find that
Failure of
information.
leadership
I don't
of
know
this
if that's
administration.
if I really care. I mean, I don't know. I don't think we should be seen as like imbeciles and like fools. You know what I mean?
I think that was
Uh,
a smart comparison on her part
Of what?
of saying that people hold what is his name? Xi Jinping, who is part of the leader of the Communist Party, hold him higher than Donald
than
Trump.
us.
in 2020.
So,
I think that was a good strategy.
I love talking with Joe about a lot of these
It is.
Wolves don't
and,
care
you know,
about the
Joe,
opinion of
he-
sheep.
you know,
To quote
foreign
Karen's,
policy might sound
I don't know.
complicated,
I
really
think about just
it's
mentioning
they're
just
like
communism
relationships.
in general.
And
Just comparing
so
how-
we don't
Yeah.
have personal and professional relationships. You got to keep your word to your friends. Got to be loyal to your friends.
That is one
People who
thing.
stood with you,
That is
gotta
one
stand
thing.
with them.
If we keep like breaking
Gotta know who
agreements
your
with our
adversaries
allies,
are
that's gonna hurt
and
us in
keep
the
them
long
in
run.
check. But what we've seen
I don't know.
with
There's a
Donald
fine
Trump
line. I don't think.
is that he has betrayed
Yeah, I think
our
that's
friends
tough.
and
Uh-oh.
embraced dictators around the world. Let's take, for example, Russia. So,
Oh, here we go with
I serve
Russia.
on the Intelligence Committee of the United States Senate. America's intelligence
Are either of you
community
tired of hearing
told
about
us
Russia?
I feel like I haven't heard about it in a while, honestly.
Really?
Yeah.
I was when the whole fucking
When
they
the
said
impeachment was going down?
when they meddled. Supposedly they meddled with the
Oh, the election.
which wasn't true.
You know what you haven't heard about in a very long time? Fucking ISIS.
Yeah.
What happened to those fools?
Yeah, that is true.
They dropped. Literally.
Are they still? Let me look it up. Are they still even like a thing?
Bro, Donald
I
Trump-
believe they're a thing, but not as like takeover and fucking
Dude,
territory.
Donald
thing.
Trump dropped the fucking Moab on him.
Moab. Yeah. Fuck, man, I need to pee.
It's all
Donald
good.
Trump's unilateral approach to foreign policy, coupled with his isolationism, he pulled us out and has made
Iran
America
nuclear
unsafe.
deal was a
So,
big deal
Susan,
too. I remember.
It's about relationships. And the thing that has always been part of the strength of our nation, in addition to our great military, has been
I
that
don't know,
we
man. I
keep
don't feel
our
like
word.
doing
But
research right
Donald Trump
now.
doesn't understand that because he doesn't understand what it means to be honest.
Thank you, Senator Harris. Vice President Pence, let me give you a chance to respond.
Well, thank you. Well, President Trump kept his word when we moved the American embassy to Jerusalem, the capital of the state of Israel. When Joe Biden was vice president,
Rico,
they
what do you
promised to
think
do
of the
that every
debates?
day.
Is he
We
in
stood
here?
strong with
Oh,
our
he's been in here
allies,
this whole
but we've been
time?
demanding. NATO is now
He don't give a fuck.
contributing more to our common defense than ever before.
He said he just wants more
President
cat treats.
Trump's leadership. We've strengthened our alliances across the Asia Pacific.
He said, "Where are all the rights for the cats?"
For the black cats. Black cat lives matter.
Right?
ISIS had captured
Honestly, they do,
the area
people.
of the
Black
Middle
cats
East
are the most.
of
you
Yeah, they
know,
are.
Least adopted cat in shelters.
unleash the
And they're
American
so
military.
cute. Look at them.
And our armed forces destroy the
He was
This
annoying.
little guy.
He was annoying earlier, but I forgive him.
Without one American
He was
casualty.
needy.
Al-Baghdadi was responsible for the death of thousands.
Who?
But notably Americans.
Al-Baghdadi?
The family of
Baghdadi.
Caitlin.
Bro.
Baghdadi.
Al Baghdadi? Dude, you know that guy was
his-
dripping in the Middle
He's
East.
in his bag.
Al Baghdadi. Come to Al Baghdadi.
Give the bag to Daddy.
When Joe Biden was vice president, we had an opportunity.
Fuck right there.
Huh?
Oh, up the stairs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That what?
Breaks my heart
It's
to
dark.
reflect on it, but
Dude, in the morning, I fucking I'm like.
said they knew where Caleb was. Baghdadi had held her for 18 months.
About what?
Abused her mercilessly before they
I
killed her.
He gave up.
gave up. I don't feel like searching. I like Googled it and I'm like, I don't want to read. Dude,
And when armed forces
FBI's
I'm
on you,
tired.
bro.
it was clear she'd been
I'm gonna be
murdered 2
flagged.
days earlier. And
Can
her
I get
family
another truly?
Yeah.
says with a heart that broke the heart of every American.
They're talking about Al
If
Baghdadi.
President Trump had been president, they'd
The
be
fucking dude they murked?
today.
Yeah, I think they killed him. Right? They
Yeah.
threw a bomb on him, right? Or yeah, it was a bomb.
Yeah.
Transferred $1.8 billion
I think he was like the
to
number
leading
2
state-sponsored
terrorist in the
Vice
world at the time.
President Donald
I
Trump
think
got us
so.
out of the
Thank you,
deal.
Vice President Pence.
And when
I might be
Congress
wrong. I don't fucking know.
traveling to Baghdad
Thank you, Vice
farm
President.
to
He was up there for
Americans,
sure.
President Donald Trump took
Thank you, Vice
out.
President.
Any guy with a name like that.
That's what we were saying.
It's
dude,
definitely on a list.
He had to be dripping, bro. Al Baghdadi.
He was number 2 daddy. Number 1 was fuck, I don't know.
But I would like people to
You guys-
Sal Baghdadi.
You guys ever watch Django Unchained?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, the scene where where he shows up at the farm, he's like where he tells the slave like show him around, you know, but he's not like normal black folk, right?
Oh,
he's
yeah,
different,
yeah.
he's
I'm
different.
telling-
I don't know what you mean, Big Daddy. You mean treat him like white folk? No, that is not what I mean. Dude, I do that shit to Ray. Or for anyone that cares to know, Ray's a like 6'2" big black dude I work with.
Dude, no, he has to be taller than 6'2",
6'2",
bro.
6'3", 6'4", who cares?
I'm
He's
thinking
tall.
like 6'5". That guy's
like 260, big dude, right?
Damn.
Anytime he tells me something, I don't know what you mean, Big Daddy. He loves that
funny.
movie too. So
That's funny.
back to the debate.
What's your definition of the role of American
Is Pence
leadership
falling
in
asleep?
2020?
Oh, never mind.
Oh, I thought he was dying.
Dude, imagine they're like, Pence, Vice President, are you okay? Oh my God, he's dead.
You just hear like one wheeze.
He only thinks about
They took my shins.
Dude, that mic is so close to falling.
And Donald Trump
Is the audio still good?
Sounds good in my my headset.
Yeah, because you have your fucking. Oh no, you don't. We're at the same level.
I'm in number 3.
What if his last words were just like, signing off?
Signing off.
He died.
Public reporting.
He said,
that
"Oh."
Russia had bounties on the heads of American soldiers. And you know what a bounty is?
That's been going on for years, though.
It's
They had
somebody
bounties.
puts a price on your head, and they will pay it if you are killed.
That's back
And
in, like,
Donald
George Bush
Trump
years.
Had talked at least 6 times
What are you talking about?
to Vladimir Putin, and never brought up the subject. Joe Biden would never do that.
Thank
Joe
you.
Biden would, but Joe Biden
He just does
would
that.
hold Russia to
Joe
account
Biden would never
for
do that.
any threat to our nation's security or to our troops.
There's like kids on the playground arguing about whose dad can kick
for the
whose dad's ass.
Thank you, Senators. This is such an
My dad
important
goes to
issue,
the
but we
gym.
have other important issues as well, and I want to make sure we have a chance
I really have to
talk about.
respond to that.
I'm-
Look, she has
15 seconds because
Well, I gotta
we're
have
trying
more
to
than
keep.
that. Look.
Well, I'm sorry, but Vice President,
Look,
but you've had more time than she's had so far.
Stand your ground, mediator. Stand your ground. Oh.
Regarding
Cut the mic.
men and women of our armed forces are absurd.
I'm sorry, Vice
My
President
son is
Pence.
a captain in the United
I was
States
15?
Marine
Holy shit.
Corps. My son-in-law is deployed in the United States Navy. I can assure all of you, with sons and daughters serving in our military, President Donald Trump not only respects but reveres.
Have you?
Unless you die in combat or get captured,
Yeah.
then you are a loser.
Loser.
Jesus Christ.
Vice President Pence, I didn't, Vice President Pence, I did not, excuse me, I did not.
Here we go. Let's get the shit show going.
Your campaign
Mike Pence!
agreed to the
Bro.
rules for tonight's debate.
Shut up!
The Commission on Presidential Debates. I'm here to enforce them, which involves moving from one topic to another, giving roughly
the
equal
mics.
time to both of you,
Go right
which is what I'm trying very hard to do.
Go right ahead.
So I want to go ahead and move to the next topic, which is an important one, as the last topic was, and that is the Supreme Court.
I'm surprised they're not bringing up,
or
or maybe they might, like the racial aspect.
Oh, that was that's been going on.
I think they're just trying to touch on things that they
Going on right now, right?
Yeah.
or didn't touch on.
Oh,
Well, I feel like it
presidential
would
debate.
be a big thing for Kamala. I mean, because she's African American.
Roe v. Wade ruling. Access to abortion would
I
then
think.
be up to the
Oh.
states. Vice President Pence, you're the former governor of Indiana. If Roe v. Wade is overturned, what would you want Indiana to do? Would you want your home state to ban all abortions? You have 2 minutes, uninterrupted.
Well, thank you for the question, but I'll use a little bit of my time to respond.
Oh my God.
He doesn't want to answer that.
The
Mm-mm.
American
He does
people
not want to
deserve
answer
to
that.
know Qasem Soleimani, the Iranian general, was responsible for the death of hundreds of American service members. When the opportunity came, we saw him headed to Baghdad to kill more Americans. President
Baghdadi.
Trump didn't hesitate, and Qasem Soleimani is gone. But you deserve to know that.
Oh, that was his name, Soleimani.
And Kamala Harris
Soleimani.
actually criticized the decision to take out
Sounds like salami.
Qasem Soleimani.
Salami?
I mean, Trump might be a
It's really
warlord too.
inexplicable, but with
In their
regard to
eyes, right?
it's
The U.S.
explainable.
has always,
Because history
the U.S. presidents have always been warlords.
Yeah.
So
against Osama
Was it
bin Laden. It's
Teddy Roosevelt
absolutely
that said
essential
carry big
that
stick
we have a
and talk
commander
softly or
in
something like
chief
that?
I think so, something
Yeah.
like that.
to act to protect American lives and to protect American service
Been going
members,
on
and
for a
that's what you
long
have with
time.
President Donald Trump.
Long story short,
Now, with
no
regard
abortions in
to the Supreme
Indiana.
Court of the United States, let me say President Trump and I could not be
Hold
more
on. I think he's
enthusiastic
gonna answer it.
about the opportunity to see Judge Amy Coney Barrett become Justice
see
Amy
what?
Coney Barrett.
The
Oh.
fuck is-
She's a brilliant
Yeah.
woman. And,
Brilliant.
she will bring a lifetime of experience and a sizable American family to the Supreme Court of the United States. And our
Okay.
hope is,
does
in the
that
hearing
mean?
next week, unlike Justice Kavanaugh received with treatment from
Doesn't
you
matter
and
to
others,
me.
but we hope she gets a fair hearing. And we particularly hope that we
Remember when
don't see
Justin-
the kind of
remember when
attacks
Kavanaugh
on
cried?
her Christian faith that we saw before.
when he was doing the
I mean,
hearing
the Democrat
Yeah.
to be,
chairman of the
you didn't
Judiciary
see that?
Oh.
Committee before
when he was being
Wait,
questioned
no.
before becoming a justice.
Oh yeah, I did.
Yeah.
confirmed for the Court of Appeals
Bitch.
because he's concerned that
Honestly,
the
I felt
dogma
bad for
of
that
her
guy.
faith
Man,
lived
fuck that.
loudly in her.
I don't feel bad for any of those motherfuckers.
Concern.
Man, you gotta think though. He was just a normal dude until he got fucking elected, and then he gets his name run through the mud. I gotta feel for someone for that.
That's what you signed up for.
Columbus holds pro-life views.
Thank you, Vice President Pence. Your time is up.
He looks a little rapey.
Thank you, Vice President.
He does. He kind of has a look. You know?
Not
Not saying he is.
You're
Not saying
the
he is.
senator from and former Attorney General of California. So let me ask you a parallel question to the one I posed to the Vice President.
He didn't
If
answer.
Roe v. Wade is overturned, what would you want California to do? Would you want your home state to enact no restrictions on access to abortion?
God, this is a hard
And
question.
You have 2 minutes uninterrupted.
Thank you, Susan. First of all, Joe Biden and I are both people of faith, and it's insulting to suggest that we would knock anyone for their faith. And in fact, Joe, if elected, will be only the second practicing Catholic as president of the United States. On the issue of this nomination,
Good old JFK.
Joe and I are very clear, as are the majority of the American people. We are 27
En el nombre del Padre, del Hijo, del Espíritu Santo.
And you know, before when this conversation has come up, you know, it's been about election
I will
year
touch
or
your
election
children.
season. We're literally in an election. Over 4 million people have voted. People are in the process of voting right now. And so Joe has been very clear, as the American
What you
people
riding,
are.
Pence, huh?
Let the American people fill that seat in the White House, and then we'll fill that seat on the United States Supreme Court. And to your point, Susan, the issues before us couldn't be more serious. There's the issue of choice, and I will always fight for a woman's right to make a decision about her own body. It should be
There you
her
go.
decision and not that of Donald Trump and the Vice President, Michael Pence. But let's also look at what else is before the court. It's
Listen
the
here,
Affordable
Michael.
Care Act. Like, literally in the midst of a public
I know there's a
health
fear of them
pandemic,
overturning
when over
the right for gay
210,000
marriage.
people have died, and
Wouldn't that be
7
crazy?
million
They
people
overturn that?
probably have what will be
The Trump administration?
considered a pre-existing condition
What's her
because
name? I can't remember her
you
name.
contracted the virus.
Because there's,
Donald
Barrett,
Trump is
yeah.
right now
Because
trying
some of
to
the
get
like
rid of the Affordable
more
Care Act.
conservative
And I said it
judges
before,
said
and
that
it
if it
bears repeating.
came
This
to
means
discussion again, they would vote to
that
overturn
there will
it.
be no more protections if they win for people with pre-existing conditions. This means
I feel like people would riot
that over
if that
20 million people will lose your coverage. It means that if you're under the age of 26, you can't stay on your parents' coverage anymore. And here's the thing.
Oh, fuck.
The contrast couldn't be more clear. They're trying to get rid of the
If you're
Affordable
under the
Care
age of
Act.
26?
Joe Biden's
Yeah.
saying, let's expand
I just need
So
one
it's
more
like-
year.
give you a
I thought
choice
it-
of a
I thought it was
private
25.
private coverage. Let's bring down
Is it 25? I don't remember.
Is it-
I think she's wrong about that. I think it's 25.
That's true leadership.
Does she mean to say under or over?
You mentioned earlier,
I don't know.
Vice President
Because if you're
Pence,
under
that
the age of
president was
26, then
committed
you're,
to
that's like your whole
maintaining
life.
protections for people with
So you're not
pre-existing
on there.
conditions.
What? Does that make sense?
But you do have
Oh, I
this
see what you
piece
mean.
that you are
'Cause, like, you're
supporting
yeah.
Yeah, that's like
that
your
would
whole.
strike down
If you're under the age
the
of 26,
Affordable
you've
Care
never
Act.
Maybe
had health care.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe because you're saying it's 25. Maybe she's just saying 26. Don't fucking know.
See,
dude.
this is why you
I
don't
know
believe
she's
them
trying to
people.
say.
This is why you look up this shit.
Yeah.
Makes sense
I'm
to
pretty
me.
sure it's 25.
Specifically, how would
I
your
don't know.
administration protect Americans with pre-existing conditions to have access to affordable insurance if the Affordable Care Act is struck down?
Well, thank you, Susan. But let me just say, addressing your very first question, I couldn't be more proud to serve as vice president to a president who stands without apology for the sanctity of human life. I'm pro-life. I don't apologize for it.
You're pro-birth.
And this is another one of those cases
Not pro-life.
where such a contrast. Joe
something.
Biden and Kamala Harris support taxpayer funding of abortion all the way up to the moment of birth. Late-term abortion. They want to increase funding to Planned Parenthood of America. Now, for our part, I would never presume how Judge Amy Coney Barrett would rule on the Supreme Court of the United States, but we'll continue to stand strong for the right to life. When you speak about the Supreme Court, though, I think the American people really deserve an answer, Senator Harris. Are you and Joe Biden going to pack the court if Judge Amy Coney Barrett is
I was
confirmed?
wondering if he was going to ask
I mean, there've
this.
been 29
If they're gonna what?
vacancies
You and Joe
Pack
Biden
the
going
court.
to pack the
during
court.
presidential election years from George Washington to Barack
Is that
Obama.
a saying?
Presidents have nominated
What does
in
that
all
mean?
29 cases.
Let me look up
Your
what
party
it
is
exactly
actually
means.
openly advocating adding seats to the Supreme Court
There
which
you
has
go.
had 9 seats for 150 years.
Oh, they want
If
to
you
add
don't get
seats?
your way.
Yes.
This is a classic case of if you can't win.
Because
by
their
the
argument
rules,
is that it would
you
throw
gotta
off the
change
balance
rules.
if
Now, you've refused to
they
do
That's what
elect
Donald
us.
Trump is
Joe
doing.
Biden has
He
refused
just
to
said
answer
last
the question.
debate.
So I
I
think
mean, not
the
about
American people would
the
really
Supreme
like to
Court.
know
If he
Judge
doesn't,
Amy
if
Coney Barrett
if he
is
doesn't
confirmed
win
the
or whatever,
Supreme
he's not
Court
going
of
to leave
the United
office or
States,
whatever.
Are you and
Yeah.
Joe Biden, if somehow you win this election, going to pack the Supreme Court to get your way?
I'm so glad we went through a little history lesson. Let's do that a little more. In 1864.
Well, I'd like you to answer the question.
Mr. Vice President, I'm
Please.
speaking. I'm speaking. Okay. In 1864, one of the, I think, political heroes, certainly of the president, I assume if you also, Mr. Vice President, is Abraham Lincoln.
Mm-hmm.
Abraham Lincoln was up for re-election. And it was 27 days before the election. And a seat became open on the United States Supreme Court. Abraham Lincoln's party was in charge not only of the White House, but the Senate. But Honest Abe said it's not the right thing to do. The American people deserve to make the decision about who will be the next president of the United States. And then that person can select who will serve for a lifetime on the highest court of our land. And so Joe and I are very clear. The American people are voting
What happened with
right now. And it
the other
should be
guy,
their
Scalia?
decision
Because that was close to the
about
election
who
too,
will
right?
serve on this
Scalia,
most
isn't he the one that
important
died?
Yeah,
for
and
a
but like,
lifetime.
what happened after his death? Did Obama administration try to push,
or
or did they hold off?
I don't believe they. Well, they
Was it-
wanted to, yes, and then there was a big argument just like this one.
And they held off?
Yeah.
Okay.
Trying to answer you
The
now.
American people deserve a straight answer. And if you haven't figured it out yet, the straight answer is they are going to pack the Supreme Court if they somehow win this election. Men and
Mr.
women,
Vice President,
I got to tell you, people across this country, if you cherish our Supreme Court, if you cherish the separation of powers, you need to reject.
I just feel like they're trying to do that on a
Biden-Harris
lower
ticket.
scale,
Come
though.
November the
They're trying to
3rd,
get someone in
reelect
there
President
who's
Donald
on
Trump.
their
We will
political
stand by the
party.
separation of
Yeah.
powers
Like,
and
yeah,
nine
she's
seats
if she wants to
Yeah,
add
let's talk
seats,
about
like
packing the
I understand
court.
why you're mad,
Let's talk
but you're
about
trying to
that.
get someone
Yeah,
in
I'm about
before
to.
you lose.
Yeah,
So what does
Yeah.
that say?
that's fair.
Yeah.
So
But the way
the Trump
I don't know.
Pence administration has been, because I sit on the Senate Judiciary Committee.
To
since
to
2000.
add more
And
justices
I've
would be
witnessed
something that's never been
the
done in
appointments
American
from
history.
No, yeah,
ever.
appointments
I
to
understand
federal
that.
courts, district courts, courts of appeal. People who are purely ideological, people who have been reviewed by legal professional organizations and found to have been not competent, are substandard. And do you know that of the 50 people who President Trump appointed to the Court of Appeals for lifetime appointments, not one is black? This is what they've been doing. You want to talk about packing a court? Let's have that discussion.
Oh, jeez.
All right, thank you, Senator. Let's go on and talk about
Oh, I
the
thought she was
issue
gonna
of
say something
racial
else.
justice.
I just want the
Oh,
record
there you
to
go,
reflect
Andy.
She never answered the question. So the American people,
Thank
maybe
you.
in the next debate, Joe Biden will answer the question.
Thank you,
But I think
thank
the
you.
American people know the answer.
Thank you, Vice President. In March, Breonna Taylor, a 26-year-old emergency
Oh,
room
here we
technician in
go.
Louisville, was shot and killed after police officers executing a search warrant in a narcotics investigation broke into her apartment. The police said they identified themselves. Taylor's boyfriend said he didn't hear them do that. He used a gun registered to him to fire a shot, which wounded an officer. The officers then fired more than 20 rounds into the apartment.
that
They
wasn't
say
true.
they were acting in self-defense. None of them have been
Was
indicted.
the boyfriend
in
shot?
connection
Yeah.
with
Honestly, I don't
the
know anything about this case, so maybe you guys can
in the case
inform me.
of Breonna
I mean, I
Taylor,
don't have any
was
facts,
justice
but
done?
obviously
You
just
have
read
2
some
minutes.
I
articles.
don't believe so, and I've talked with Breonna's mother, Tamika Palmer, and her family, and her family deserves justice. She was a beautiful young woman. She had as her life goal to become a nurse, and she wanted to become an EMT to first learn what's going on out on the street, so she could then become a nurse and save lives. And her life was taken unjustifiably and tragically and violently. And it brings me to, you know, the 8 minutes and 46 seconds that America witnessed, during which an American man was tortured and killed under the knee of an armed, uniformed police officer. And people around our country,
That dude's out on bail now.
of every race,
$1 million.
of every age,
$1
of
million.
every gender, perfect strangers to each other, marched shoulder to shoulder, arm in arm, fighting for us to finally achieve that ideal of equal justice under law. And I was a part of those peaceful protests. And I believe strongly that, first of all, we are never going to condone violence, but we always must fight for the values that we hold dear, including the fight to achieve our ideals. And that's why Joe Biden and I have said on this subject, look, and I'm a former career prosecutor. I know what I'm talking about. Bad cops are bad for good cops. We need reform of our policing in America and our criminal justice system, which is why Joe and I will immediately ban chokeholds and carotid holds. George Floyd would be alive today if we did that. We will require a national registry for police officers who break the law. We will, on the issue of criminal justice reform,
See, Henry Gracie is
get
against
rid of
that.
private prisons.
That what?
Henry Gracie, part of the Gracie family. He's got a jiu-jitsu gym, and
Against chokeholds?
he's against banning chokeholds.
Oh, really? Why?
Thank you, Senator.
I think Joe Rogan is too.
He thinks well. First of all, he thinks that all police officers should learn jiu-jitsu,
Vice President Pence, let me pose the same
and
question to
he's
you.
afraid
In the case
of
of Breonna
if
Taylor,
that's banned,
was
he's
justice
afraid
done?
of
You have
more
2
harm
minutes
coming to police
uninterrupted.
officers.
This is a fucking stupid
Wait, what was the
question.
question?
In the case of Breonna Taylor, was justice done?
Any innocent
Oh,
American life.
that's what she just
And the
asked
family of
Kamala
Breonna
Harris right
Taylor
now.
has our sympathies.
It's the same question.
But I trust our justice system, a grand jury that refused the evidence. And it really is remarkable that as a former prosecutor, you would assume that an impaneled grand jury looking at all the evidence got it wrong. But you're entitled to your opinion, Senator. I think, look, and with regard to George Floyd, there's no excuse for what happened to George Floyd. And justice will be served. But there's also no excuse for the rioting and looting that followed. I mean, it really is astonishing. Flora Westbrook is with us here tonight in Salt Lake City. Just a few weeks ago, I stood at what used to be her salon. Was burned to the ground by rioters and looters. And
Looters? Would they steal fucking hairspray?
And I must tell you, this
Fucking
Still some extensions?
This is what I fucking hate about this subject is that it always just reaches the surface of fucking riots and looters and justice and blah blah blah.
It's the same.
Like there's a
shit.
deeper conversation here that we are not having for the leaders of our country.
It's a great insult.
There's a
What?
fucking
The
fly on his head.
Oh my God! The fly on Mike Pence's head.
Dude, and it does not help that he has all white hair.
That ain't death itself, bro.
That shit ain't moving, bro.
She should be like, my Pence, you got a fly on your head.
Got a
You
hitchhiker.
got up and walked out of the room. And then you
Yo, this would be a
filibustered
meme, bro.
Senator, Tim Scott's
Quick,
bill
let's
on
make
the
it.
Senate floor that would have provided new
Make the
accountability,
meme?
new repeat resources.
I don't know what meme, but it's definitely gonna be a meme.
Supporting law enforcement, proving public safety, and supporting
it's still
our
out there.
African-American
I got a fly on my head.
under President Trump's leadership.
Don't call me a fly
Don't
head.
call me a fly head.
Do what we've done
Vice
from day
President Pence,
one, and
thank you.
Shout out
save
Andy
the lives
Milonakis.
of African Americans.
Thank you, Vice
Record
President
unemployment.
How long is this debate supposed to go?
Your time is up.
An hour and a half.
School choice for
So I
all
think
of
we have
Americans.
12
I'd like
minutes.
to respond.
Senator Harris.
I will not sit here and be lectured by the Vice President on what it means to enforce the laws of our country. I am the only one on this stage who was personally prosecuted. Everything from child sexual assault
my
to
God, it's still
homicide.
there.
I'm the only one on this stage who has prosecuted the big banks for taking advantage of America's homeowners. I'm the only one on this stage who prosecuted for-profit colleges for taking advantage of our veterans. And the reality of this is that we are talking about an election in 27 days, where last week the President of the United States took a debate stage in front of 70 million Americans and refused to condemn white supremacists.
Not true.
And
That is true.
it wasn't like he didn't have a chance. He didn't do it, and then he doubled down. And then he said, when pressed, stand back, stand by.
When pressed.
And This is a part of a pattern
Calling on all his Proud
of
Boys.
Donald Trump's.
Did you see that?
people
Oh, it flew off.
Mexicans,
That
rapists,
the gay
and
community is using that
criminals.
hashtag now.
Yeah, they're taking.
Drown them out.
Yeah.
What, Proud Boys?
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, they're using that hashtag for LGBTQ.
Dude, that's just like the South Park episode we just watched.
Yeah.
And on the other side, there were neo-Nazis carrying tiki torches, shouting racial epithets, anti-Semitic slurs.
This is
And
true,
Donald
man.
Trump, when asked about it,
He said there's.
there were fine people on both sides. This is who we have as the president of the United States. In America, you deserve better. Joe Biden will be a president who brings our country together.
Senator Harris.
And,
We don't
and
need that white guy.
recognizes the
We need
beauty
this
in our
white guy.
and the fact that we all have so much more in common than what separates us.
Vice President Pence, let me give you a minute to respond.
Thank you, Susan.
If you condemned them, you would lose votes.
He would.
You know,
He
I think
would.
this is one of the things that makes people dislike the media so much in this country, Susan, is that you selectively edit, just like Senator Harris did, comments that President Trump and I and others.
All right, denounce it.
Make.
Denounce white supremacy.
Senator Harris conveniently omitted, after the president made comments about people on either side of the debate over monuments, he condemned the KKK, neo-Nazis, and white supremacists, and has done so repeatedly.
He has? I haven't heard.
You're concerned that he doesn't condemn
Or seen.
neo-Nazis. President Trump has Jewish grandchildren. His daughter and son-in-law are Jewish. This is a president
Hitler was
who
a Jew, was he?
respects and cherishes all
Was
of
Hitler
the
a Jew?
American people. But
Yeah,
you
there
talk
was a
about
Jew.
having personally prosecuted.
What
I'm
was
glad
that
you
tell you?
brought up your record, Senator.
Thank you.
But I really need to make this point. When you were DA in San Francisco, when you left office, African Americans were 19 times more likely to be prosecuted for minor drug offenses than whites and Hispanics. When you were Attorney General of California,
Thank you,
you
Vice President.
increased the disproportionate incarceration of
Thank
blacks
you.
in California.
Yeah.
You did
Ooh,
nothing
is that
on
true?
criminal justice reform in California. You didn't lift a finger to
you.
pass the First Step Act on Capitol Hill. I mean, the reality is your record
Thank
speaks
you,
for
Vice
itself.
President
President
Pence.
Trump and I have fought for criminal justice reform.
Thank you, Vice President
We fought for
Pence.
educational choice and opportunities for African Americans, all of our
Thank you,
members.
sir.
And we'll do it for 4
Thank you. You know, there is no more important issue than the final issue that we're going to talk about
Okay,
tonight,
thank God.
and that is the issue of the election
But
itself.
he attacked my record. I would like an opportunity to respond.
Let me give you 30 seconds because we're running out of
I
time.
appreciate that. First of all, having served as the Attorney
All right,
General
time's
of the
up.
state of California,
Moving
what
on.
I did is a model of what our nation needs to do, and we will be able to do under a Joe Biden presidency. Our agenda includes what this administration has failed to do. It will be about not only
I
instituting
just realized there's 2 layers of plexiglass. Was that shit gonna melt through?
Thank you, Senator.
I would like to go through,
These are points that you made earlier.
You gotta be
in the hour,
safe.
and I want
Be
to talk
safe,
about
you know?
the election itself.
Spitting
before we have
acid.
to-
but I want to talk about the connection between what Joe and I will do and my record, which includes I was the first statewide officer to institute a requirement that my agents would wear body cameras and keep them on full time. We were the first to initiate a requirement that there would be a training for
someone
law
coughed in this
enforcement
thing?
on
Dude,
implicit
yo, they
bias
better
because, yes,
take
Joe
'em out.
Biden and I recognize that
One little
implicit
coffee.
bias does exist, Mr. Vice President, contrary to
Blow dart.
of instituting reforms that were about investing in reentry. This is the work that we have done and the work we will do going forward. And again, I will not be
Jesus.
lectured
Did it
by the
again.
Vice President on our record
Dude.
of what
Anyone
we
down
have
to
done
get
in
some
terms
Taco
of
Bell
law
after this?
enforcement and keeping our communities
Fuck,
safe,
sounds
and a
kinda good.
commitment to
Dude, that
reforming
does
the
sound
criminal
kinda good,
justice
bro.
system of America.
Thank you, Senator Harris. And I'd like to pose the first. I'd like to respond first to the question on our final topic.
Did you hear that?
Your jaw popped?
That was my jaw.
I didn't hear it.
You heard it, right? Holy fuck, that was loud. What hurt? My jaw
And
popped.
President Trump refuses to accept a peaceful transfer
Damn, bro.
of power.
I'll
What
make it pop
steps
again.
Would you and Vice President Biden then take? What
Would you
would
say
happen
peaceful transfer of
next?
power?
You have 2
Peaceful
minutes.
transfer of power.
So I'll tell you, Joe and I are, I think, particularly proud of the coalition that we've built around our campaign. We probably have one of the broadest coalitions of folks that you've ever seen in a presidential race. Of course, we have the support of Democrats, but also independents and Republicans. In fact, 7 members of President George W. Bush's cabinet are supporting our ticket. We have the support of Colin Powell, Cindy McCain, John Kasich, over 500 generals, retired generals, and former national security experts and advisors are supporting our campaign. And I believe they are doing that because they know that Joe Biden
I didn't even know we had that many.
has a deep-seated commitment to fight for our democracy and to fight for the integrity of our democracy and to bring integrity back to the White House. And so we believe in the American people. We believe in our democracy. And here's what I'd like to say.
In the menage a trois.
Existentialism.
Vote early.
Democracy.
Come up with a plan to vote. Go to iwillvote.com.
Chinese food.
What have you created?
The
chimichanga.
Mexico.
To make the decision.
Where we created the missionary
position.
You're welcome.
And it is within our power, and if we use our vote and we use our voice, we will win. And we will
That was
not
Sacha
let
Baron
anyone
Cohen, no?
subvert our democracy.
That was Sacha Baron
With
Cohen.
what Donald Trump has been doing, as he did on the debate stage last
Amazing.
week,
Love that guy.
when again
Prodigy.
in front of 70 million people, he openly attempted to suppress the vote. Joe Biden, on the other hand, on that same debate stage, because clearly Donald Trump doesn't think he can run on a record because it's a failed record, Joe Biden on that stage said, hey, just please vote. So I'll repeat what Joe said. Please vote.
Thank you, Senator. Vice President Pence.
He did say
President Trump
whoever
has several
wins,
times refused
you
to
will-
commit himself
you
to
will
a
back
peaceful
them.
transfer of power after the election. If Vice President Biden is declared the winner,
Fuck
and
that.
President Trump
I want
refuses to
screaming in the
accept a
streets.
peaceful
I want
transfer of
tears.
You want
God.
civil war?
and responsibility as Vice President.
No,
what
I
would
want
you
exactly what happened last
personally
time when Trump won.
do? You have 2
I think either way, it's going to be
Well, Susan, first
an
and
extreme.
foremost, I think we're
Joe
gonna
Biden
Yeah.
wins,
Yeah.
or if Donald Trump
because
wins.
while,
Yeah.
Joe Biden and Kamala
This is the thing.
Harris
If Trump
go off
wins,
along litany,
worst case, there will be screaming in the streets. If Biden wins, worst case, there's going to be some fucking shootings or some militia.
has launched a
or the
movement
Proud
of
Boys.
Americans from every walk of life.
Proud Boys,
They're going to throw their dildos at people.
The same Americans that delivered that historic victory in 2016, they see this president's record where we rebuild our
There's going to be
military,
school shootings, even though schools are online somehow.
tax cuts,
Shoot the
rolling back
webcam.
regulations, fighting for fair trade, unleashing American energy. We appointed conservatives to our federal courts at every level. And we stood with the men and women of law enforcement every single day. And I think that movement of Americans has only grown stronger in the last 4 years. But when you talk about accepting the outcome of the election, I must tell you, Senator, your party has spent the last 3.5 years trying to overturn the results of the last election. It's amazing.
Yeah,
When Joe Biden
that
was
is
Vice
true.
President of the United States, the FBI actually spied on President Trump and my campaign. I mean, there were documents released this week that the CIA actually made a referral.
Well, I mean, to be fair, a lot of the people on that campaign did end up going to jail
Yeah.
for
Of
involvement
course,
with
we've
Russia.
all seen the avalanche, what you put the country through for the better part of 3 years until it was found that there was no obstruction, no collusion, case closed. And then Senator Harris, you and your colleagues in the Congress tried to impeach the President of the United States over a phone call. And now Hillary Clinton has actually said to Joe Biden that in her words, under no circumstances should he concede the election. So let me just say, I think we're going to win this election. President Trump and I are fighting every day in courthouses to prevent Joe Biden and Kamala Harris from changing the rules and creating this universal mail-in voting that'll create a massive opportunity for voter fraud. And we have a free and fair election. We know we're going to have confidence in it. And I believe in all my heart that President Donald Trump's going to be reelected for 4 more years.
You know, I've written all the questions that I've asked tonight, but for the final question of the debate, I'd like to read a question that someone else wrote. The Utah Debate Commission asked students in the state to write essays about what they would like to ask you. And I want to close tonight's debate with the question posed by Brecklin Brown. She's an 8th grader at Springville Junior High in Springville, Utah.
Wow.
And here's what she
Oh, maybe
wrote.
that's why they're in Utah?
When I watch the news, all I see is arguing between Democrats and Republicans. When I watch the news, all I see is citizen fighting against citizen. When I watch the news, all I see are two candidates from opposing parties trying to tear each other down. If our leaders can't get along, how are the citizens supposed to get along? And then she added, your examples could make all the difference to bring us together, end quote. So to each of you in turn, I'd like you to take 1 minute and respond to Brecklin. Vice President Pence, you have 1 minute.
Brecklin, it's a wonderful question. And let me just commend you for taking an interest in public life. I started following the news when I was very young. And in America, we believe in a free and open exchange of debate. And we celebrate that. And it's how we've created literally the freest and most prosperous nation in the history of the world. But I would tell you that don't assume that what you're seeing on your local news networks is synonymous with the American people. You know, I look at the relationship between Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, the late justice who we just lost from the Supreme Court, and the late Justice Antonin Scalia. They were on polar opposites on the Supreme Court of the United States. One very liberal, one very conservative. But what's been learned since her passing was the two of them and their families were the very closest of friends. I mean, here in America, we can disagree. We can debate vigorously, as Senator Harris and I have on this stage tonight. But when the debate is over, we come together as Americans. And that's what people do in big cities and small towns all across this country. So I just want to encourage you, Brecklin. I want to tell you that we're going to work every day to have government as good as our people. And the American people each and every day love a good debate. We love a good argument. But we always come together and are always there for one another.
Thank you,
in times of need. And we've especially
That was a good answer.
learned that
Yeah.
Thank you.
I was going to say the
That's a
same
really
thing.
good
It's a
answer.
great answer.
Senator
It sounds
Harris, what would you
nice,
say to Brecklin?
but at the end of the day,
First
our
of all,
government is
I love hearing from our young leaders.
more
And when
divided
I
than it's
hear
ever been,
her
I would say.
words, When I hear your words, Brecklin, I know our
Let's see
future
what she
is bright
says.
because it is that perspective on who we are and who we should be that is a sign of leadership and is something we should all aspire to be. And that, that brings me to Joe. Joe Biden, one of the reasons that Joe decided to run for president is after Charlottesville, which we talked about earlier. It so troubled him and upset him, like it did all of us, that there was that kind of hate and division. What propelled Joe to run for president was to see that over the course of the last 4 years, what Brecklin described has been happening. Joe has a long-standing reputation of working across the aisle and working in a bipartisan way. And that's what he's going to do as president. Joe Biden has a history of lifting people up and fighting for their dignity. You have to know Joe's story to know that Joe has known pain, he has known suffering, and he has known love. And so, Brecklin, when you think about the future, I do believe the future is bright. And it will be because of your leadership, and it will be because we fight for each person's voice through their vote, and we get engaged in this election because you have the ability through your work and through eventually your vote
Thank you,
to
Senator
determine
Harris.
the future of our
was a weak
country
answer.
and what its leadership looks like.
Thank you, Senator Harris. Thank you, Vice President Pence. Thank you so much for being with us tonight. We want to thank also the
right, can we
University
turn it
of
off?
Utah for its hospitality. And most of all, our thanks to all the Americans who watched this debate tonight. Again, our best wishes for a quick recovery to President,
Just mute it.
the First Lady.
Well, that went a lot better. than
Yeah,
thought.
I
A lot
think.
more civil.
Yeah, I think the one thing I took away from this is that I would say the VPs are more candidates than the actual nominees.
definitely.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I'd agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was expecting, like the last debate, I was expecting insults, but I was expecting like cohesive answers
Mm-hmm.
from both sides.
Dude, I completely agree. If they were the presidential candidates I feel like my attitude toward this election would be so much different.
Yeah. And I feel like if that was the case, I think after tonight, it would, for me at least, it would be a hard toss-up on who I'd want to vote for.
Yeah. Yeah, because you could tell that either way. What you could see about the VPs is they do care about the country, and they do care. They're doing their best to stay informed and make the right decisions, you know. And it's not all just a show, right? It's their life.
Yeah, but it's good to know that these people are backing each other party, each party. You know what I mean? Like, these presidents don't have. It's not that they don't have. I guess incompetent advisors. You know what I mean? Yeah, they do care, and you could see that.
Yeah.
No matter their stances on anything, you know, at the end of the day, they're fighting for their side because they think,
or
it'll
what
make
what they
America
morals,
better.
what
Yeah.
they believe is right.
Yeah.
Right. But with that said, do you guys believe this may have swayed people's votes after this debate?
The VP debate?
Mm,
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure certain people, yes, you know, and I'm sure certain people got swayed one way or the other. I wonder how many people watch this compared to the last one.
Yeah.
Because I think the issue that always happens around elections is there's always one demographic that votes the most, and it's usually the older demographic. And I don't know. The issue is that everybody we've like that YouTube video, or that Instagram video you shared. Everybody wants to be entertained, right? They want it to be a show, just like everything else they see on TV. And what sucks is that this wasn't, like we said, this wasn't to be entertaining. This wasn't to be like reality TV, you know?
Yeah.
And of course, I would assume that there's probably a lot of people who didn't watch it for that reason. And I feel like those are the people who should be watching. Those are the people who should be more informed. But I don't know. They just live a superficial life, I guess.
Yeah, it's willful blindness, right?
Yeah.
do I think? I don't know if I can. I guess I'm swaying more towards. No, I don't think this will sway. A lot of voters, because it's hard for me to think someone who's supporting Trump will support the other side, who will be a coherent, and it's on both sides. I'm not just saying Trump, but also someone who's far left, who will be like, I guess, a very coherent person and understand that, you know, Mike Pence said he did, you know, bring up good points. You know, it wasn't that, you know, I'm not. We here don't have this. These blinders on where anything that comes from that side is wrong, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to think that, because you said the division in this country is very high.
Well,
I would say.
I just want to specify the division in government. I believe is very high, but you know the thing we see on the news and the riots and the racial what's the word that I'm looking for? Division, I guess. I don't believe that's really what America is at right now.
Like the whole country?
The whole country. No, I don't believe... Like, I can walk down L.A. Yeah, there might be something like a sign or maybe a protest going on. But it's not... I don't see the whole... I don't see all of L.A. angry and rioting and looting and...
Like they say, yeah.
Yeah, I don't feel like there's that much anger that the news is putting out. You know?
No, yeah. I mean, it could very well just be, you know, what I'm seeing, you know, but it tends to be the far left and the far right that get the most news coverage.
As of
the
lately.
extremists.
Yeah.
The extremists.
You know,
yeah.
and that's and obviously that's happened, you know, throughout American history.
Yeah.
But it's just when you think about each side, it's just they're, you know, obviously they're just the complete opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just to say, I'm not downplaying, you know, what is being covered. I'm just,
No, yeah.
you know, I just don't feel like I don't walk down the street and I can like just feel
tension
Yeah,
or
like-
anger.
yeah,
anger.
like just pure anger from Americans. But one thing I did want to say though is it would be interesting if the era of presidency you went from Obama to Trump to Biden. I feel like the three of those is just
It's interesting.
so different.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That would be
Yeah.
interesting.
I don't know, man. Yeah, definitely interesting election.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who knows
And
the outcome?
the other interesting thing is people are already been voting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People already been sending their votes in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I don't know. Would you guys say there's a winner? I've been thinking about that, and it's like it's hard. I don't think there's a clear
This
winner.
debate?
Yeah.
I think it's okay to say that they both won. You know
That's
what
the
I mean?
thing. I think
it's okay to say that it was very equal.
Yeah, I could see it being a very subjective thing. Like
Mhm.
one person could say this person won for this reason, one person could say the other person won. Like I don't know. I guess my point is I feel like it wasn't clear. It wasn't like,
Yeah.
oh damn, like
Yeah.
this person was not prepared.
Yeah.
You know?
But would you rather have it this way or would you rather have it the other way?
I think this way, for sure. Like I just want good leadership. I want someone who's well informed, who's intelligent. Like that's what I want.
Mhm.
I don't care about the side. Like, I want someone who I think is a better person than I am. And I feel like both these people, when it comes to politics, are far more intelligent than I am. They're far more in touch. They're far more informed. They know what they're talking about. And like that makes me feel comfortable. That makes you feel like they'll get their job done.
Yeah.
You know, they'll do what they need to do. When there's a blowout,
Yeah.
then that's when it's scary. Like, oh fuck, dude, this person doesn't know what they're doing. You know.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's my opinion.
Yeah, of course they're always gonna like try to figure out who won the debate,
Mhm.
but at the end of the day, it's about bringing two different ideals together and trying to get them to understand one another, right?
Making their argument. Yeah.
And I think when it gets to a point where you don't really know who won, I think then it's a good debate.
Yeah. Yeah.
At the end of it, it leaves you thinking,
Because it means you're considering the other side.
yeah, maybe I should educate myself more.
Mhm.
Instead of what we saw in the presidential debate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because yes, our president acted very unpresidential, but there was also moments where I would say Joe Biden got flustered or bothered by how many times
Angry.
he was being cut off.
Yeah.
Like he literally told the man to shut up.
Yeah.
Like this is national TV.
Dude, I think
that's why I say like these two people on stage tonight are much more presidential than the
Yeah.
two that are actually running for president.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird to see it completely flipped because I would expect or I would hope that a president would be more
Dude, the thing is, man,
You know?
I feel like it doesn't matter who you throw on the stage with Trump, it's going to end up that way.
Yeah.
I feel like I have to be honest, I feel like he is the issue is because of the way he talks to people on stage.
Mhm.
Like, it's not a debate, right?
Mhm.
Like, I feel like if you throw Kamala Harris with him, we're going to see the same shit. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
If you threw Mike Pence against him, you'd see the same shit. It would be like, dude, what the fuck? Like, and the whole reason is because he's not from that world.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? He's a business guy.
Yeah.
He's from someone from Hollywood, someone from reality TV. You know, he's not from the world of.
it's not from real life.
No, he's
Yeah.
not, and he's
Yeah.
not from a political world of debates where there's some type of like expectation going in of respect or
I think
of
it's
how the game will be played.
I think it's safe to mention too that he was on a reality TV show for like what 15 years, like
Mhm.
15 seasons or whatever.
That's who he is.
Is that how long it went on for?
I mean, I might be stretching it, but
I'm sure like through it all.
yeah,
you
either
know what I
way,
mean?
like yeah, he knows something about ratings and what to say and
Yeah.
you know what I mean. He's not an idiot,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, it was definitely a good debate. I'll put it at that.
Yeah.
You know, so
Like I said, I really do. I feel like I really wish they were the candidates. I really do.
Yeah. The interesting thing is, whoever does become president, who's next after that, right?
That is the interesting thing. Yeah.
Because I feel like there's no one really good up in line.
Yeah, it's weird that we get to
It's gonna be someone we haven't heard of.
Yeah,
I feel
we can see the beginning and the end of this era. You know, what I mean? Of like this, since Trump got
either way,
but
yeah, it'll end in the next 4 to 8 years, most likely 4.
Yeah.
Either way.
But
yeah.
I think that's an interesting point.
Yeah.
Yeah, we will see the end of this.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy to think about.
Yeah.
The other thing is too. I mean, we're still children. Like we've only lived really through one president.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I just, I can only feel for people that are much older than us that have gone through plenty of presidents.
Mm. Like this is their last one.
Well, no, not that. That they've seen so many actual presidents, people that are respectable. Mm-hmm. And then we get to this point, and they're like, we've never fucking seen anything like this before.
They're probably waiting for that. Like, fuck yeah.
I need something different.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's make this shit interesting again.
Tired of this professionalism.
That's crazy. All right, you guys ready to wrap it up?
Yeah.
I'm fucking hungry.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's get some fucking food.
Yeah.
So,
I guess we'll
stay
see.
tuned, yeah.
Yeah, if there's going to be a debate next week.
Yeah, round 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, not anyone's episode.
Trump's got the Ronas, so we got to wait.
The Corona's full.
Hopefully they gave him some good shit at fucking Walter Reed. I'm sure they gave him the best they could give, right?
Dude, I heard they were pumping him full of drugs.
I heard too. I heard they were giving him steroids.
I heard they were giving him fucking stem cells.
That's why he's.
I heard that too.
That's why he's feeling better than 20 years ago.
He's all fucking roided
He wasn't taking
up,
roids,
bro.
Yeah. One thing I gotta say about the whole Trump versus Biden thing, when it comes to debates, literally all Trump has to do is let the man talk. Like the guy rambles once he starts talking.
See, maybe I haven't seen that.
His ego is too
Won't let
fucking
him do
big to just let the man speak.
That was the thing, because I kept hearing that. Like, they kept saying about, Sleepy Joe, and he can't make a coherent sentence. And I feel like I didn't see that the last... Like, he would stutter here and there, but people were saying that he's had a stutter since he was, like, a kid or whatever.
What I think it was is that people just made a compilation of him saying these
isolated moments.
I mean, how long a time span? I don't know, but anyone can do that with anyone.
True, but I was waiting for him to be like, and I was kind of disappointed. Not gonna lie.
Like 100.
Honestly, I was worried about last week because the videos I have seen of Biden just like being asked one thing and then it just like goes down this weird path. Like I've told you guys this plenty of times. I don't like cringy things. I don't. And watching Biden speak is fucking cringy to me. It's like, dude, stop. What are you doing? Stop.
Have you seen like it happen live, or has it just been like recap videos?
It has been videos, but I'm not a fool. I make sure to not just get like snippets. Like actually. Okay, what did they really ask him, and what was
said?
100 billion, 100 trillion, 100 million.
My favorite videos are like my little brother shows me like TikTok videos of and this is the more like biased towards where he is Sleepy Joe, right? Where it is just like little cut videos, but he'll say something like just random, and then like a little rainbow will come with his head on it. And then he'll stop and be like, come on, man. You remember when Joe Biden said that? He's like, come on, man.
Oh, yeah.
That's funny. They're just so funny to me.
All right. But, yeah.
All right. Well,
stay
I
tuned.
guess we'll wrap it up here.
Yeah, stay tuned.
Start saying my outro. Yep. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Catch you next week. We'll see what it is. And once it always in. Thank you for joining the circle.
What it do, baby boo.
Yes. Thank you for listening to our podcast. We got to stay tuned for next week because our president has the Rona.
President Rona.
And Joe Biden said he's not going to debate unless we know that he's completely clear. So we might have an episode for you next Monday, or we might have an episode for you next Thursday, Friday.
I don't know. If it doesn't happen Wednesday, I mean, we could go back to our normal scheduling.
For sure. So, yeah, just stay tuned. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.
Yeah, I'll probably try to release this tomorrow. I took a little long for the round one for the video format, but
Fight.
doesn't matter. I just wanted to say a big thank you to all our listeners over in India. You guys are fucking killing it. You guys have caught up to our American listeners in a certain time span, and you guys just are amazing. Thank you so much. America, get your shit together. Start listening more. What the fuck? But we love all of you. Remember, only you can prevent forest fires. Don't let the man get you down. And we will see you on the next one. Bye.
Baba booey.
See ya.